that how did you choose to be a social entrepreneur? How did this idea come to you?
How can I use that my knowledge to help others? So I started doing some health camps and all those things. So I would
Right.
suggest one thing, that if you're at home sitting with your child, that time you can invest your time in learning. You can just sharpen your skills. That will help a lot later on.
Right, right, absolutely. Utilizing the time for its
Mm.
best use. What is the kind of revenue that your company does?
7 lakhs per month. So, and then I was doing alone and I was really burned out at that time. So I joined some organizations where to help get help for that. And then I reached in February 2022, I touched 10 lakhs that time.
Oh, that's
But
amazing. How many people do you have in your team?
okay, so we have around 8 women working with us in the office.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Female Founders Community. And today we have a really special guest with a special message. Dr. Tanima is a social entrepreneur and she helps women with childcare. And I would love to understand that how did she get started with this business? What is her motive behind this business? And this will also help us learn so much about our bodies, our lives, and every woman who looks forward to become a mother one day. Welcome to the show, Dr. Tanima.
Thank you so much, Manmeet, and it's a pleasure to be here and to reach out to more female founders. This is such a good platform, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. So let's get started with that. How did you choose to be a social entrepreneur? How did this idea come to you?
Okay. So I did my graduation, medical graduation, and obviously after medical graduation, I joined my job. I was working as a gynecologist, and so I have an experience of around 14 years. So after my second son was born, I took a break from my career and I was at home. And as you can understand, that sitting at home is not easy. So I was sitting at home. How can I use that my knowledge to help others? So I started doing some health camps and all those things, and but obviously that needed one way where I should work on one specific thing. So I reached out to my friends. I had one physiotherapist with me, one nutritionist with me, and we started doing antenatal sessions, because during my OPD, during our OPD gynae OPDs, I used to feel that there is counseling which mothers require, especially during pregnancy care and when the baby is born. But in OPDs we don't have that much time to give to each and every mother. So I thought that let's start some antenatal sessions and start giving those. So I have talked to my two friends, and we start with my colleagues of my gynecologist friends. I asked them to refer their patients to us, and we started doing antenatal sessions. So that was pregnancy care sessions, Garbh Sanskar, and all those things. So this was one way we were asking them to join the sessions to learn something about pregnancy. Whoever mothers were delivering, they were coming back to us asking for lactation issues. So this one thing I realized, that okay, people are facing more issues during lactation, during breastfeeding. So that's when I realized that this is a gap which I need to fulfill. So I started, like, I took some more courses for myself and trained myself more into this, and started doing lactation consultations. Then I started my clinic, and previously I was in job, but then I started my own clinic and started doing this. Then COVID came, and all my offline consultations, because they were not able to visit the clinic, so they were asking me how we can reach out to you. So I started doing online consultations. But that was a major change, because the mothers of my city, they started referring their friends from other cities, even because at that time people were not able to travel to each other places. Even inter-country flights were all dismissed at that time. So the mothers living outside India also, they started connecting with me in that time. So during COVID, I did a lot of webinars, lot of informative webinars, which improved a lot. People came to know about me, and they started asking for consultations. And that's when I understood that online consultation can be done. And that was major thing. Then I realized something, like people needed something to have as their supplements. So I asked my husband that we can start doing preparing some supplements, and that's when then products also came in. So this way, both the things are working right now.
Okay, absolutely. So I think what I learned from you here is that you've actually heard your audience and understood
Yes.
that what they're looking for. Because
Hmm.
sometimes, when you're creating products, when we're creating businesses, one thing that we keep in mind is what can I offer? What can I sell?
Yes.
But you were on the other
Yes.
side. You looked at that
Yes.
what people want, what are they asking for? And when you serve and when you deliver what people are asking for, then the business always keeps running. It is a very good
Yes.
position to be in.
Correct. So
Yeah.
as you said, that I started giving pregnancy care sessions because I felt that people needed help at that side. But when the mothers who were taking pregnancy care sessions with me, they were coming back to us because that trust building was there. So this I realized, no, this side, no, we have to work this side. After delivery care is more important. So started doing postnatal sessions.
Right, right, absolutely. I would, want to take you a little step back before, the entrepreneurship. You mentioned that you took a break when you had your second child, right? That
Yes.
means while you had your first child, you were still working and you were still, like in your career. So I would just want to understand how was that journey, being a mother, being a new mother, a first time mother, and still, taking your career along, because a lot of females want to know that how to master that one skill, managing work and managing motherhood. So how did you manage that?
So, I'll tell you, I'm a very workaholic person when we talk about career. I'm not that homely person when you talk to me personally. I like to work. I like to, my career, like professional life, I really enjoy working those things. So, when my son was born, it was a hard decision to sit back. But obviously, I thought that everybody does that. So, let me sit back and work on it. So, anyhow, I just passed 5 months. It was very difficult to pass those 5 months also, but as my child when completed 5 months, I joined back. But I took a leave of around 5 months at that time.
Okay,
So after
okay.
5 months, yeah, so I was not working for 5 months. But because in medicine, it is not like you have a break in between your career. Because medicine, when we know about it, people who are connected to us, obviously, when we join back, they welcome us. It is not like in other sectors where that gap makes a big
Yeah,
problem in your career. So that way, in one part, if we see about medical, then this is one thing, one advantage which we get over the other fields when I talk. So those 5 months also, I was just trying to look other ways around, like medical transcription, medical coding. I was trying to learn all those things. So I was not sitting idle. I was trying to
yeah,
learn things. So at that time, what I would say that time I took it as myself for learning. I did a
yeah.
lot of learning at that time, and after when I joined back, then I weighed all the options, that what all options are good for me. So for some time, I also joined this clinical research also. So after when I joined my hospital back in the evenings, I used to go for clinical research work also. So both the things I was doing because I learned during those 5 months when I was with my child at home. So I would
Right.
suggest one thing, that if you're at home sitting with your child, that time you can invest your time in learning. You can just sharpen your skills. That will help a lot later on.
Right, right, absolutely. Utilizing the time for its
Mm.
best use. Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. Okay. And we would also love to understand what was your reason now to jump into entrepreneurship? Why, after your
Okay.
second child, how did you decide that, I want to do my own business?
So, because job always has some timings, you have to go
Yeah.
there, you have to be. And I remember my timings were from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And for 8 a.m., I have to leave my home at quarter to 7. So, with
Okay.
two kids and small kids, it was very difficult. And specifically, because obviously, when you're in job, there is no flexibility of time. So, this made me understand that, okay, I need to take out some time for myself. And yes, I would also add on one thing. After joining after first child, when I joined at 5 months back, there was always something in my mind. I'm leaving my child. That
Yeah.
guilt feeling was always there. So now at this time, I didn't want to have face through that. So that's why the clinic was like having my own thing was more like beneficial in the terms of giving time to my family and balancing the career professional life. So that's why I just thought of having it my own self, my own
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey there.
Yeah, I think then all the females should focus on becoming their own bosses, right?
Yes.
Becoming a
Yes.
female founder, because then that supports them to have that warm family atmosphere as well, and then also have the choice to, have their own career.
Correct, correct.
Right, right.
These days now with digitalization and with online things, it has become so easy now.
Yeah,
Now with digital services, we can even manage everything. Now I see my kids just roaming around at my home, and I am just at the other room taking consultations and all that. So that is a very satisfactory feeling when you are at home just managing everything all together. So now with digitalization, I think it is just opening your horizons and see what all things are available and what all things you can offer to people.
absolutely. It's the power of the digital that is, empowering women today.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, yeah. And did you face any kind of obstacles, any kind of, because when you become an entrepreneur, the journey is not really that smooth. There are thorns and thicks in the way. So when you began entrepreneurship, when you just began your business, what is the kind of obstacles that you might have faced, and how did you, overcome them?
Okay. So, in the initial, you feel so energetic, you want to do everything
Yeah,
yourself. So, I also did the same thing. I wanted to, because I didn't trust anybody. I thought this is my baby, so I have to just take care of it, yeah,
yeah,
by myself. So, it was a lot of burning out because doing everything and managing everything was a big problem. And we as women, because we want to give the best. So, every
yeah,
time we just compare some people that, are they will not be able to do that good. So, every time people used to ask me that have somebody else with you, and I was like, nahi wo nahi theek se kar payega, they will not be able to do that. It took little more time. So one this challenge, but I would say that I was not ready to give it to somebody else to join with
yeah,
me and work. So slowly, but I felt that I needed to do that. Then I had one girl with me who started doing some things for me, and slowly I added people in the team. So like giving work to others was very important. Designation like to different people, that helped a lot. It saved a lot of my time and let me think on the other things on that way. And second thing was scaling. This way, at particular time, I felt that what I started and now where I have to reach, those things
yeah,
have become very difficult. So at one time, I would say that I was ready that okay, now whatever is done, it is fine. But when you start doing good, people start expecting from you. Even you start
yeah,
expecting more
yeah,
from your side. So it is always a juggle between that should I work more, or is it okay right now, should I stop here, should I just focus on sustaining it, or should I scale it further. So these things they keep coming in the mind that way.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what were those little things that you did to, overcome these challenges? One is that you said that, you started getting more people in. And how did you tackle the second challenge that you had?
So I started like few things which I felt that I needed to learn. So some things I learned by myself. So for some things I started like reading books, uh,
Okay.
joining some podcasts, joining some people, and joining some training sessions. So that helped a lot to open my mind to accept things and like learn them in a way that it should be done. That way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So learning is an ever evolving process. No
Yes.
matter which stage of your career you are at, it's an ever evolving process. I always, say when you stop learning, you stop growing. So learning is
Yes.
equivalent to
True.
growing. Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And how big is your team now? How many people do you have in your team?
Okay, so we have around 8 women working with us in the office,
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
thank you. And we have two freelancer doctors now. They are also in the team. So because they are not full-time employees, they are freelancers. So I count them as separate there. And we have
Okay.
two more people who are working from remote areas with for helping in our team that way.
Okay, that's amazing. That's quite a big number. Somebody who started alone to building such a big
Yes.
team in, span of these years, that's amazing. How do you feel today? When you look back at your journey, how do you feel today?
Yeah, I feel so good, but I feel so pressurized also that I should work more into that. I can do better. I can do more. So that is one anxiety kind of a thing that I should work more. But I'm not doing that much what all things I can do now. So that
Yeah,
thing is always there in the mind.
yeah, yeah. Step by step. I'm sure,
Yeah.
when we speak 5 years from now, you would have done so much more.
Yes. Yes.
But I would now, ask this question, and we would love to understand in detail what do you do, how do you help women, how do you, help women take care of childcare, and what are the different offers that you help women with?
Okay. So I usually help with mothers for postpartum care. So once the baby is born, there are a lot of issues which the mothers face. Specifically, one area is about lactation, about breastfeeding their
Okay.
babies. So previously, there were a lot of like elders in our home. They used to help us, but there is a lot of lack of knowledge also, and there are a lot of misconceptions around also. So
Yeah.
now what happens that once the baby is born, there are a lot of things which the elders tell you, but on when the mother finds it on internet, because now digital has become easy for everybody,
Yeah.
so they start searching on internet, and when they see that there is the discrepancy in the information which the elders are telling and what is available on the internet, then they get confused. So now
Yeah.
my role is to give them a correct information, tell them correct guidance, and give them a step by step procedure. They can get it, they can follow it and get the results fast. So
Yeah.
breastfeeding is one thing that initial 6 months are most important. After
Yeah.
6 months, because the baby starts taking solids also, so the stress on breastfeeding becomes less. So the time is very less. In those 6 months only, I have to make the mother realize the importance of having one-on-one consultation, expert guidance, and then reaching out to the goal. So this way, I help new mothers, and because our counseling rates are very good, our consultations results are very good. So that's why we have lot of word of mouth referrals also. So this way, this is a proud feeling to tell that I have a lot of referrals, around 70% referrals come in from
Oh,
the
that's
mothers
amazing.
themselves. Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
One thing is about breastfeeding, and second thing is once the baby completes 6 months, then the mother is again confused about what she should give as solids to her child. Mostly the
Okay.
market is like in when we talk about general medicine, usually it is dal ka pani, chawal ka pani, and all that.
Yeah.
But that is not nutrition wise. It is not that healthy. So that's why we tell them what properly the diet they should give. So I have a nutritionist with me in my team. So we have a whole team of doctors and nutritionists who help the mothers in breastfeeding also, and later on with the complementary feeding also. That one.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay, I have a very curious question, which might be a little off from here, but I would want to know, when these mothers come to you, do they have any emotional thoughts or anything that is going on in their mind, like when you started and you had to take a little bit of break and then move forward? Do these mothers as well have these kind of thoughts, and do you support them with these kind of thoughts as well? Would just want to know a little about that.
Yes. So many times, if the mother is, her baby is already 3 or 4 months old. Now she has that stress that I have only 2 months less, because after 6 months I'll be joining my office back. How will
Yeah.
I be able to continue later on? So I always tell them that please right now focus on the present. Don't become so stressed out about the what is coming in the future. And don't worry, I'll tell you how to balance everything. When I have
Yeah.
balanced it for myself and for so many mothers out there, I'll help you out. So one thing is about if the mother is a working mom and she knows that after 6 months she has to join back, she has a lot of stress that how I will manage. Second thing is if she has taken a break and she doesn't know whether she will be able to continue or not later on her life, then the finances part she's worried a lot. So
Yeah.
because she has been giving formula milk right now, and when we are working, because formula milk itself is very costly. So once they start, when I tell them about the consultation and how we'll move ahead, they are not very sure whether they will get results out of it, so they keep asking whether I'll get results, whether is it okay right now, and all those things. So these things are something which we have been talk about the mothers, the stress which they go through. And the third part is that they feel that they should breastfeed their babies, but their family people sometimes they feel that you're already giving formula, what is the problem, keep giving the formula milk, what is the issue there? So she feels that I feel complete when I give my milk to my child, but
Yeah.
there are not of many people who are supporting me, so I need a support here. So I would like to tell you I have a very strong support system. A mother who comes into us, we just don't leave them like that. We keep messaging them, and different times of the day we keep messaging them, so that whenever they can see the messages they can reply. So I have a dedicated helpline team in my team. She's available from 10 to 6 available there. So very anytime any mother has any issues, she can reach out to the helpline team. So this way I have made sure that the mother gets the best help possible in whatever ways we can. And my helpline team herself is a mother. So she helps the mothers in that way because she understands what issues they are going through. So this way, mothers have issues, but we have tackled that in our way, having a good team support. that way.
Yeah, I think that I love that thing, like you've mentioned, that walk the talk. As soon as
Hmm.
you said that, when you go out and you help women and you give them the assurance that I am
Hmm.
a mother, I've done it myself, and I
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
support you. I think that's
Hmm.
the best message you can give to a customer, where you tell them that, hey, this is my journey, I've done it, and I can do it for you. You are your own case study. Because that builds a lot of trust on the people that, yes, she's a practitioner, she's done it, and she'll
Hmm.
be able to do it for ourselves. And the second that you talked about, which is the accountability. These days,
Hmm.
I feel information is available in overload. There is so much of
Yes.
information that we're not able to grasp
Hmm.
it. YouTube is
Hmm.
full of information. The courses today are available at 499, 699,
Yes.
999, where the
Yes.
purchasing power of people have increased today, and a 999 course is not that costly. But where the
Hmm.
problem is that expert guidance and somebody to approach when they're like, oh my God, what do I do? And that
Hmm.
accountability, that helpline really comes in to support them with a peace of mind. If I have a problem, I have a person to go to. Again, with
Correct.
the factor that a practitioner is there to help me because she's a mother herself. So I think that's
Correct.
a very nice structure you've put together, where people are actually helping when they've done it themselves. And there is a
Correct.
accountability for the clients and the customers, where they know that if anything goes wrong, if anything, blows up, there is one place I can go to. So there is that peace
Correct.
of mind with them.
Yeah, and I have got the feedback system very well in our whole organization. So we do Mom Star series. The mothers who get their full results in on it. So we take one interview session with them. So we have five to
Oh,
six questions which we ask them. So those are the case studies which we take from the mother's mouth themselves. So those are
yeah.
I put on my YouTube channel regularly. So whenever any mother is having doubts whether she will get results or not, we assure them, but we also send them the reference of all those things. So once by telling ourselves, we can tell her, but the mother speaking herself of her whole success story, that helps a lot. So we have a lot of
Absolutely.
success stories which we have put on our YouTube so that the mothers see, and there is a regular trust building that okay, if these mothers can get results, even I can get results. So I have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
very difficult case studies, and they are all available on my YouTube channel. So that helps in building a trust that way. And I
Absolutely,
keep doing
100%.
webinars. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also am very active on social media. I keep putting my YouTube channel like videos. I'm live on Instagram and all these things. I keep doing it so that I'm connected with my audience regularly. So suppose if they're in the process of thinking whether should I go for it or not, so they keep seeing me regularly, and there is a regular trust building, and they feel that I should go ahead with that.
Yeah, yeah. The nurturing system happens through the case
Yes.
studies, because I think you put everything, what is my process, what do I do, what
Hmm.
we are going to do, how we can help you, the entire trust and credibility of, you being the practitioner. But something that works like a charm is case studies. That is another person
Yes.
coming up and saying, oh, she can do it. She's the one. You should
Yes.
go with her.
Yes.
That works
Yes.
like a charm. Even if you have that smaller in number or you have
Hmm.
bigger in number, the more you have, the merrier, but that works like a charm every time for any business.
Correct. Correct.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question, and I don't know if you'll be comfortable sharing this or not, but would you like to share with us that what is the kind of revenue that your company does?
Okay. So as you know that I started with my own clinic. At that time it was all zero. Obviously I was
Yeah,
bootstrapped when we started our organization and all that. In the initial days even didn't know that how to start a company. I never
yeah,
thought that I can start a company because only the thought process was there that I should utilize my time and I should give that time for helping mothers. So
yeah.
somebody told that okay, this is a social work, so you should have a trust for yourself. So
Okay,
I didn't know much about it. So we had our clinic and we registered it under a trust. So Masi Care Clinic was the name of the clinic, caring like a mother. And so we had it registered under a trust organization. So because I was doing lot of health camps and all those things, so I just kept listening to people. So somebody told me that you should get your 12A ATG certified. So I just applied for that and I got it. So it was just a very less time, and I didn't know that I can get it so easily because when I talked to anybody, they were like, "Oh, it is very difficult. You have to do a lot of papers and all that." But because I was genuine and I went for my case myself to the authority, so I
okay,
got my 12 ATG certified. And then obviously we were started working, but as it grew, so now because that is a non-profit organization, so our whenever we were doing activities, so there is always a mark that until this trust work you can't go for profit activities. So that's when I
Okay.
realized that I should form it as a company. So we formed as a company separately and then started working under the company there. So this way when we started, so our company, so in 2022, this is right, 2024 running now. So 21 January, I touched 7 lakhs per month. So, and then I was doing alone and I was really burned out at that time. So I joined some organizations where to get help for that. And then I reached in February 2022, I touched 10 lakhs that time.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
yeah, so I touched 10 lakhs, but at that time I was really burned out because I was doing it all alone, like in the point of giving the services. So other things the team was taking care, but I was in the delivery part, I was the only
Yeah.
one there. So that's when I realized that I need to have more people. So I started hiring more doctors, training them into that. And now I can say that I'm making around 7 to 8 lakhs, but now that is not along with me. Like I am only doing it twice, thrice in a week. That way I'm doing, and I have two more doctors who are taking care of that. So this way
Excellent.
now the segregation of like designation of work is there. So we are making amount around 7 lakhs around, but it is also done by other doctors. I am not the only one who is taking the consultations now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that has been an amazing journey. Like you said, you started from a zero, and then,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 years of effort,
Mm.
hard work, so much into it, and now close to doing 7 to 8 lakhs a month, and
Yeah.
even touched 10 lakhs a month. I
Yes.
think that is
Yes.
beautiful.
Mhm.
That is amazing. What would
Thank
be
you.
one advice that you would give to females today if they were to start their entrepreneurship journey?
I would say just keep moving. This I felt myself also, because every time you have different kind of issues with it. So reach out to the people whom you feel they can help you. And we as women always are very calculative, whether this will help to us or should I go for it? Should I? So I would say that take a midway round. Don't be too calculative about it. Yes, and don't be too impulsive also about it. So that for women, we are blessed to be those kind of, we can balance all those things. But I would suggest keep going. So I have many women who are trying to work and start their business, but they're so calculative about it, whether it will work, should I go for it? So I would say make small goals, keep working around them, and always make a journal. So keep thinking that okay, this is my goal, this is for, and always the power of attraction is very important. So keep taking small goals, keep attracting them to yourself, and keep moving. This is most important. Whenever you feel you are stuck, just see whom you can take the help and you can work. And definitely for women, I can say they are the problem solvers. So always, if
Yeah.
you can solve those problems at your family, you can definitely do it in your career also. So just keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't stop. Don't give up. And
Yes,
do
yes,
it. Just doing it consistently always makes you win.
yes, correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah. All right. So, if anyone who's listening to that podcast, she might be a mother, she might not be, they might want to get in touch with you, speak to you, work with you, or tell you that how they loved your podcast, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm all there on social media, on Google, on Instagram, or on YouTube. My name is Dr. Tanima Singhal, and anybody can find me on internet because I am very active on social medias. So they can just get it. Otherwise, my website is drtanima.com.
Absolutely. And we'll also put your website and the LinkedIn link in the description.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Tanima, for sharing your journey, for sharing with us that, how women can move forward, and especially for touching upon one of the most important topics, that is motherhood, and, taking the career along. I think that is one thing that all women need to learn today. So thank you so much for sharing your insights. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, and thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to always talk to you and discuss about all these things. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.